Growing up, just like most people, children, I loved cartoons. They were my preferred form of television. And then one day, someone said, "Hey, aren't you a little bit too old for watching cartoons?" And as the idiot I was, I took it way too personally. Hello there, guys and gals. It's me, Dylan here, and today I'm going to be talking about why I don't like the cartoon community. Well, I say I'm going to talk about why I don't like the cartoon community, but really, I'm just going to be talking about myself and my own flaws. But they are the same flaws that the cartoon community also has. So there were like three different ways that I tried to push that cartoons were not for kids, since I took it so personally for such a stupid dumb reason. And number one was trying to constantly prove that cartoons were way more mature than they actually were. So you've probably seen those types of videos where someone would put like a cartoon like, this cartoon's not actually for kids, and it is. Come on. I used to show my friends those type of videos, and sometimes I wonder why they were even my friends after such cringe videos. It was just, I'm actually grateful for them for still being my friend after all that. That's how you know that they're your real friends. They stick to with you despite all the silly nonsense you've done. Real. They'll put like, oh, it tackles death or poverty or something. Like those are mature rated concepts. Let's be honest, death is not some mature concept as much as people would like to say it is. It only feels like it because it's such a painful thing, and as we get older, we have a better way of dealing with it. But even then, that's not exactly true. Death is the end of things, and it's E-rated for everyone. It doesn't matter if you're young or old, death comes to you, and we shouldn't just play around with it like it's some mature topic. You try to gatekeep its discussion, but no, you shouldn't actually do that. It's something that we should all accept, but not let us control us our whole lives. It's something we should really find a way to introduce it carefully. And since parents have failed to introduce death as a concept to their children properly, they acted like it was some mature, deep thing when it really isn't. And then that's terrible. One thing I have to mention before I move on about the maturity thing is that people say, "Oh my gosh, guys, the character nearly died," or something in the kids' cartoon. And it's like, come on, guys, once you reach a certain point age, you just realize, bro, the character is never going to die. And if they're going to die, it's going to be some off-screen thing. This is something I liked about Miraculous Ladybug. It was able to realize, hey, we can't actually kill characters like that. So how about we put different stakes? Because they understand that death is not about the murder of the killing. It's about the taking. Because when someone dies, you're not focused on them. Oh, they died. You're thinking, oh, they were taken away from you. So if you have something of value to take away from the character, that can substitute as a form of death. Because I haven't actually experienced someone like really close to me passing away, but what I'm getting at is that it's like they were taken from me. This is why we have a personification of the Grim Reaper as someone who takes, because we couldn't imagine anything else. Someone would want to take someone that has value of us, because why would something that's value of us just disappear? In our hearts, we can't just accept the end. There has to be some sort of cruel. We have to make the Grim Reaper some personified version of death to cope. That's what I got from Miraculous Ladybug. Yeah. And then even with those, and my friends would respond. And when I'd show my friends those videos, they'd respond with, "Hey Dylan, don't you watch anime? Just watch anime. They have more intense fight scenes and stuff." But I was still on that hate train of anyone who that hate train because of how animation was seen as a lesser medium when what? Because it didn't win an Oscar or nominee. That's not really important, is it? That's so silly of me. The second thing I did was hating Illumination. I've never really hated Illumination, but on 2016, 2017, that's when the hate for Illumination really started. You know, the film company that made Despicable Me and Minions. I really liked Minions when it came out 2015. I was 12. I liked the Despicable Me 1, 2, Minions, those are the three that came out at the time. But the internet did not like those movies, and you know how it was in 2016. 2016 was a bad year for anyone who was a teenager. They were so easy to mind control. Anyone, if you're 13, you're brainwashed so easily by whatever those guys had to say. online, and it was I hate everything. Yeah, he made a video on Sing and how bad it was, but I really wanted to see Sing. I thought it was like, oh my gosh, this movie looks really good. 13-year-old me. It's still a good movie. I actually watched it recently this year. It was actually really good. I watched it on Netflix. It was really good, and it's so silly. The only main reason that they hated Illumination is because it pushed I think the word is rhetoric. That's one of those smart YouTuber words. Pushed the idea, let's make it simple, that animation is just for kids. Sure, they aim for kids, but come on, man. Uh, it's just, you can never know the value of a video or movie or kids show to someone. You never truly know the value of something to someone, no matter the age group. Anyone can find value in anything. One man's treasure is another man's treasure. And let me find a quote, since if you won't believe my one, the one I made up, let's get the one from Ratatouille. Yes, that is themed. Perfect, I don't know, company that you guys hype over. If the right word is glaze. Let me get it up. Here it is. The average piece of junk is probably more meaningful than our criticism designating it so. And whoever, that meme, the Ratatouille guy who says, I do not eat, I do not chew, I consume. I even got the quote wrong, but that really stingy guy who had the weird flashback once he ate the food. Yeah, him, he said that. According to this YouTube comment, he said that. There's no some barrier that no one can watch something for children. People act like there is. They just don't want to be judged, and I feel like the movie that proves that so just because something's for kids doesn't mean it can be enjoyed by others is Sing. Sure, Sing kind of was aimed for all audiences, but it was still kid friendly. It didn't have some deep messages that even adults can understand and dissect. It was simple but enjoyable. I think that I feel that's going to be kind of weird, but Encanto and Sing are parallels of each other. So let's say if Illumination were to make Encanto, they wouldn't focus merely on Mirabel, since Mirabel had the most focus throughout the whole movie. Everyone else only got so much, but if Illumination made it, everyone will get an equal amount. Yeah, it's kind of hard to explain, because I feel like in Sing, they focus on people of all different age groups. I love that, and gave them their own story, and that's something I didn't think that movie. That's one of the things that pulled me into Sing. Everyone was going to get some sort of interesting plot, and it wasn't just one main character. People of all different age groups were. We have Johnny, Ash. Oh, I was going to say Mummy Pig, but her name's not Mummy Pig. It's... Hold on, I'll get it. Mr. Moon, Buster Moon, Mina, the elephant, yeah, and there was also Rosita. Boom, Rosita. Yeah, so Rosita too. I loved how everyone got their whole own character thingy, and they're all different age groups and stuff. And this is such a scrambled video, to understand that I really like to sing. So Miss Corley was good, because I sometimes I think I feel like an elderly person would have really liked Miss Corley, because she was really old and stuff, and to see an old person who's still active, doing and trying to help out, it's really nice, because sometimes old people feel like they're so useless. I couldn't imagine to lose your ability to do everyday things just like that. They're not elderly people aren't disabled, but they're very close to it, and well, not all of them, but it's not close to it. Just losing their ability slowly. I think that really must have helped some elderly person we don't know about. Along with Rosita's story being not even single mom. Technically, at that point, she was basically a single mom, and still being able to achieve her dreams. It's not something I don't think any other movie would tackle. And so Ash's story, getting cheated on, that's strange. That's actually something I don't think that's something I wouldn't expect an animated movie to focus on. Even so, in a way, it wasn't really a kid's. Okay, still, who cares? Who cares if it's a kid's movie or not? I'm sorry, I did a rant on this. I made a whole rant in my mom's car, but I feel like I exposed too much space, so I'm just gonna be talking here, going over my points. Asha's story was good, even though I don't really understand it completely. I mean, just not letting some. Oh no, I do understand. What am I saying? It's just her point of her story was not let your heartbreak put you down. And I did see in a comment where like, oh, this really helped me because I was heartbroken and cheated on. I was like, wow, I didn't expect that to help someone out. And if you had to ask me who's my favorite story, it's Mina. Mina's story is my favorite. I don't. I know Mina was absolutely despised, like what 2022 when she was started because her people. I'm sorry, I'm being cringe, but and how they all came together, that whole talent show thing, it was all great. Also, Gunter. Gunter didn't really have a plot. He was just there for fun. I'm sorry for smiling too much. This movie was really good. And I can't believe I hate everything tried to convince me it wasn't. Illumination really does make good movies. You couldn't make me hate them even if you tried. Okay, number 3 in my script here. My script here is so bad. It's just a couple of points and I am the professional in Yap. I go freestyle here. And that's my biggest crime. Hating live action. Live action was merely a preference. No, animation was a preference. I preferred it more. But I didn't stop me from watching live action, such as the iconic Power Rangers. Oh my god, I love Power Rangers. But ever since my dad, yes, it was my dad who said, aren't you a little bit too old to watch it? And I took it way too personally. I stopped watching live action and said, oh, live action is never be good as animation or it's express. As if animation and drawings and cartoons did not imitate life. Art imitates life, and sometimes life imitates art. And if you know, what's that word? What was that terrible tweet? Let me find it. I've already got to save that, shall I? Someone here said, you should watch this show. It's good. What? It's not a cartoon. How am I supposed to enjoy this? That's what I was like. And that actually put my art skills into detriment. I went downhill in art. I realized that the whole of 2020, there was 17-year-old in 2020, the same age as me, who really got good at art. Well, I was only copying from cartoons. I kept on saying, no, I don't want to learn like the real life stuff. And I did not learn anything. That was a wasted quarantine. If there were to be something like lockdown again, I won't mess up the second time. I'd actually really lock in and start properly learning art. Because you can't just have cartoons. And that's just embarrassing. Like, if I even found this tweet that said, there's something about live action shows that make me feel uncomfortable. When I see a real life actor, I think this isn't real. This is someone pretending to be something. And it's so distracting. The animation medium is so distracting. And it's the reason why the animation medium is the one I'm most comfortable with. And someone says, have you forgotten how to play pretend? Like, and congratulations, you have barely discovered what acting is. That's actually funny. Animation is just professional doodling. And acting is just professional pretend. And you're acting like one's better than the other. They're both childish things taken onto a professional level. Probably like football, Sure, one gets more popular than the other, but okay, what? You as long as people get paid, who cares? Like paid equally, of course. Sure, there's billion-dollar actors, but it's because they're attractive and really cool, and they come with the personality and their own unique flair. While with animation, I guess they're good with it. They're like you can be really good, but you can't put as much personality. It really depends. I mean, you can put a lot of personality into it, yes, but it's not as clear as most people can see. So you have if you can see how a specific animator can personally put themselves into their work, then good for you. And try and make it reach out to others instead of being so spiteful and petty. Try and do some good. That person I showed off tried to give a terrible reason why they didn't watch live action. As for me, I tried to force myself to hate live action. I think it's because the reason I didn't like live action mainly, I don't know, it was because of Victorious. I was petty, let's say that. Conventionally attractive people put me off. That's very petty of me. I was a petty child. I was a loser, man. The biggest flaw of my live action hating is that I did it during probably the worst time, late 2010s, 2015 to 2019. That was when what a bunch of teen dramas were coming out, and I was watching none of them. That was the type of stuff I needed when I was younger. 16 to 15-year-old me would have had a better perspective, would have changed a lot as a person. I know it. If I watched Derry Girls when it first came out, oh my god, that show is really good. That show was really good. And also Community. Community is a good show, and the character Abed is so who they are and what they all are. It's a really important character. I saw for once in my life, I saw myself from the perspective of others. How the rest of the characters treated Abed and he responded was so similar to how I was interacting with many people and my own friends that I could actually see my own like I could see my own flaws. I already realized how treated my friends and how I was talking to them and grow from that. But if I had him earlier when I was like in primary school, then I would have been a way more developed person. I wouldn't be so difficult to hang out with because I'd now understand how I made it so difficult to communicate with. I'm so glad that my friends children me despite everything. I would have discovered Community and David Girls way earlier if I didn't just betray live action like that. Now I'm really starting to appreciate the whole ability of acting. The way you realize, wait a sec, I don't know this person. I know the character they play. Like they can disguise themselves so well. I can see why the skill is so respected. It's insane. So my favorite live action show, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I realized when I was watching, like, hey, the way they write their episodes is such a similar format to My Little Pony, and it's like, yeah, it is. So cold opening, start on the show, and it's okay. Problem, cool. We're solving the problem. Oops, something else is coming up. Da-da. Ad break. Then it's like, oh crap, we gotta solve this new problem. And then they realize something. They realize and learn something. And it's like, I know what to do. And they go solve it. They do that and they say, sorry, I learned something new. I learned something about myself and others. In My Pony, it would be, I got a new friendship lesson. In Brooklyn Nine, it could be anything where the characters learn a lot. And they're like, yeah, okay, let's do something fun. And then, hooray, the end of the episode. It's literally the same. There was the fact that it's live action animation. It's just a different type of medium, but the similarities are insane. They're basically the same. I was hating. It's so. Oh my god! Why did I let? No, it really looks really dumb how I let that get to me, and how I joined that whole weird circle group of people who kept saying animation is cinema, and then they'd watch something for 5-year-olds. Why was I still watching stuff for 5-year-olds? Like I was on Reddit and someone. I don't use Reddit like that, but on Reddit people did complain. Like, come on, guys, watch something else. People, it was someone said the amphibia stab laser sword thing that's for scary for young viewers. Come on, like 8-year-olds. I bet some 19-year-old was tweaking. And so that, oh my gosh, guys, it's the time for me to prove this cartoon is mature. See that age warning, the content. Oh my god. And someone says, bro, Disney's done okay. When I don't know who that Amphibia character is, I never watched Amphibia. And that character got stabbed. I think that Marcy or whatever. I was like, come on, guys, I've seen worse in Disney's done worse in like Kingdom Hearts, which is kind of true. They were talking about 358 and a half days. Not spoiling about that one. Not spoiling that one. Okay. Nah, this is a good stop changing point to focus and tell you how I broke out that mindset. Mainly it's because of anime, because of watching anime at the same time. My Hero Academia, Fairy Tail, all sorts, which had better, deep, darker. I won't say darker, but more intense fight scenes where people characters can die and bleed instead of just me. I remember. Oh yeah, Dragon Ball, of course. Dragon Ball characters died. As an 8-year old, I think because it was, I think it's because it was because of Dragon Ball. Every time I see a show that has a sword or a weapon, it's like, and they're not gonna kill anyone with the sword. I mean, knife, cutting food. They should might have shown a cutlass to cut the grass. I mean, the blade. Whenever you see a cartoon of sword, they're just gonna use it to cut blades of leaves. Just bring a cutlass at that point, and then you see them fighting with their swords, like, huh, huh. It's like, no one's going to die or bleed. And then when they show someone in cut, it's like they cut it to black a bit and show the line sword effect. It's like 9-year-old me was like, oh, this is so annoying. And I still had and I chose to watch children's stuff. I mean, the children's stuff isn't bad, but I knew what I wanted, but I just never wanted to get it because I don't know. I didn't want to get caught by my parents for watching something bad when it really wasn't. I can still remember that scene in Dragon Ball where Vegeta was punching down Goku, and Gohan had to watch. That was so bad. That was something like, I wouldn't say traumatizing, and it's not even Dragon Ball. Come on, MLP. If you type in MLP on YouTube in 2012, you would find Pony.Mov and the Sonic vs. Rainbow Dash series. Those had no chill, if that's the right word. They were just complete gore. I remember a tweet. Someone says, I think they deleted it. Someone said, as much as I like stuff like Gravity Falls on the Owl House and Amphibious Star versus Steven Universe, I want something a bit more mature. Why can't cartoons become a bit more mature? I'm not talking Avatar: The Last Airbender here. I'm talking something a bit more teen-rated, and everyone in the court retweets just an anime, just watch shonen. Like there's so much, and you know what they say? People complain, oh, there's so much fan service. I get it. If you like fan service, you should be put on a list. But you could just go on Chat GPT, go on Reddit. This isn't the first time someone has asked about fan service. Everyone hates it, and there are shows that don't have it. Sure, there might be slice of life, but you will find shows that don't have it, that are action and don't have it. And even then, even if not an action show like sports anime, you can find some of the most hype and intense scenes ever. Oh my god, Haikyuu, Haikyuu. Oh, that game was amazing. Their games are amazing. Blue Lock. Oh my gosh, what was it? Blue Lock Saturdays. Mm, those are good. Okay, outside of anime, what year was it? Who knows? But Starverse is okay. Here's my new point. I don't know. I think it was like when Starverse ended. Um, I don't know, Bliskabum 94 or whatever his name was, said, oh, cool, there's a new cartoon, The Owl House. I was like, in my head, I can't believe I went like this. Oh boy, a new cartoon. Now I knew a new way to show how mature and dark cartoons can really be so that I can finally prove to people that I'm not immature for enjoying them. And then I realized when I stood there in my head, that was not only just so cartoonly stupid, but just stupid in general. I really, ugh, what? Maybe I should just stop watching cartoons overall because I'm not actually watching the cartoons because if I enjoyed them, I was just watching them so I can prove that I was mature for watching them. It was just complete insecurity to the point where I lost the plot, lost the whole reason I was even watching stuff. So since I don't know 2019, I haven't really watched as much cartoons. I've watched a bit of Slice of Life. The main ones I've watched are DC Superhero Girls, Troll Hunters, the whole Tales of Arcadia series, and Tangled the series. Oh, I love those. Yeah, those are good. But I have seen some animated movies, mainly the new Pixar ones. And Migration, I liked Migration. That was a good movie. The Illumination movie, Migration. I like that. So what am I doing now? I'm mainly watching live action now. Like I've I've really enjoyed the live action shows I've been watching so far, catching up and really found some really good stuff. If I were to recommend some good start live action shows, I'd say Community and The Good Place. Those are the good. Those are the two that you want to start with first. And another point: if anyone's actually watched my channel outside of my 7 subscribers, thanks for subscribing. I said that I wanted to be in the animation industry, but after that whole debacle, I don't know anymore. I mean, it's great, but I don't want to think in the back of the head how I used to be one of those people and put animation in some weird, odd pedestal. I think I like the idea of making things instead of just studio stuff. I know I live in the UK. I'm not actually going to be working in the studios that made those plot focused cartoons that I liked, that I used to like watching. But I feel like my regrets and mistakes are just going to haunt me forever now. So I might as well find something else different to do. I don't know. This is something I'm going to overcome eventually. I'm going to work hard to make sure that happens. Mm. Oh, yeah, I forgot to include these 2 quotes I picked up, and it's. Well, these aren't actually quotes, but listen to them anyway. People need to stop being so self conscious about liking kids stuff. Like, just up to it. No one cares. There's a tons of things that are made for kids that are great, and it's honestly insulting to them when you act like being kid friendly is a mark of shame by Ubo Gob. Well done, Ubo Gob. And here, Sean Fay Wolf. I'm going to say his name. That's a bit rude. So if I got it wrong, high quality kids movies should be appreciated and considered real cinema. And I mean, the phrase is high quality kids movies should be appreciated and considered as real cinema. And it wouldn't cue to watch something not meant for 8 year olds for once are both very legitimate points to make. That's what I got to say. Like, share, and subscribe. Dislike if you dislike. I am out. Sorry for waffling so much.